welcome to another segment of On the Bench. Today I'm going to be tying you up my Firetiger Pike plug. It's made with earplugs, the safety earplugs. Buy them in any hardware store. This actually will give it some more undulation, and I can fish this fly with sinking lines. I can make it float. I can fish it super shallow. It's got a lot of movement. It's got it's an articulated fly, and folds down quite nice. I'll get one in the vise here. We're going to show it to you. I'm tying it 2 times fast because this fly will take over 20 minutes to tie, but it's a good one. And well, let's get a hook in the vise here. I want to show you, look at the nice little, pushed a lot of water, slims right down, where it's a bit of a hollow tie. It's got a nice movable tail. So I'm starting here with a mustad saltwater hook in the end, 8411 I believe it is. Just for a shank. We're going to cut this off when I'm done. I'm using some 3/0 thread on here, tan thread. We'll take some white bucktail, just get that started. We'll flare that out, get that encompassed around the shank. Bring in a little more there, just to give a little more bulk. You can tie the hackles at the rear shank. I like to change it up sometimes. They look a little bit different in the water. This one I'm going to tie the hackles in the lead shank for you, okay? Now we're coming in with holographic Firetiger Magnum Flash on each side. This is a great color. Pike love it. Now I'm taking some, this is Rainbow Crystal Flash. I'm going to take quite a clump of this. We're going to tie lots on each side. This really gives a nice effect over the top of the holographic Firetiger Flash. Come ahead, I formed a bit of a hump there. We're going to start building our fly as we go forward. Now we'll take a little more, we're going to just get ready here to get our earplug in there. We need to put a hole in that earplug with a big sewing awl or something like that, so you can get that big foam pushed back here to right to that material there for the tail. This is also going to splay out a lot of the materials going forward, so I'm just going to get some wraps over here with that 3/0 wax thread. Holds that down good. You can put some cement underneath it if you want to. It stays on there okay with that. Now I'm just going to do some hollow tie here with the white. Trim those butts off nice and flat. We'll tie some on the top, some on the bottom. Get a bit of a natural flare going there. You can trim those butts a little bit more even if you like. But these good solid turns with 3/0. Now I'm using a hair packer here to push these bucktails back. We'll start kind of wrapping back over. You're going to need to get a lot of tension. Keep pulling on that, working that packer back, and just get that thread jammed back over top of that hair. It's going to want to breathe on you. Bucktail really breathes nice in the water. I know a lot of you fish bucktail flies, and you're going to really be happy with this one here. But you can see the foam in around the bucktail. This kind of gives me the taper I'm looking for. Now I'm just going to clip off the bottom of that trailer hook and make sure you're not pointing that anywhere close to your eyes. It'll pop out just like a rifle shot, so make sure you don't stick that in you if you don't have your pliers facing the right way. Here's a 5/0 owner. This is a circle hook, one of the sharpest hooks in the industry. I use this a lot for big saltwater and game fish flies. This fly will doesn't take no prisoners. It's a good hook. Now we're going to attach the two. I'm going to be using some Senyos wire. You see how that tail, when it gets wet, it'll fold down. Looks pretty nice, swims real easy. So that bit of foam in there really changes the action on this fly, and I'm trying to get, I love the erratic action in a streamer, especially pike. You need to kind of turn on the dark side of their brain sometimes, so a little extra movement and You can move, it's going to move sideways with that foam. I can get it to even lift a little bit when I want to let it rise in front of a stubborn fish that just kind of laying there. Because some days they get pretty lazy. They're not too excited about chasing. But if you get something in front of their face for a little while, and this foam will allow me to do that. So we got the Senyos all doubled over. You can put some head cement or cement that down if any kind of glue you want. You can tie this in step ties too. What I would do, tie all my tails, and I would do that Senyos, run that down, then I'd put cement on it. You know, if I'm doing 6 flies or 10 flies or whatever the case may be, do them all in steps. So we'll take this orange and green bucktail. I'm just going to tie it, hollow tie again. And we're going to push this back. We get that hair packer, sure helps. Get those hairs starting to go back over. Get some really good turns. You got to get this kind of jammed up ahead of that bucktail. It's going to want to come back, but it wants to breathe, so that's what we want. Now what I'm going to do is bring in some big bass hackles here. These are big saltwater capes. Is actually what they are, saltwater capes. Using a couple orange on each side, and then I'm going to bring in a couple of dark olives. Like I say, I'm putting the hackles on the front. They come right to the tail of the fly anyway, so it's really your choice, however you want to do it. Here's some real nice big, this is a bass cape here. This got grizzly, dark olive grizzly here. This really nice. That gives you a really good barred effect on this fly at the back. I'll show you how to create the bars at the front when we're done. Now I made a bit of an error here. I was getting a little quick doing my segments, so I'm going to get a couple longer hackles, feathers on this side. I didn't match the length of them. So here I'm going to tie them on again, make sure they're all in the right proper length. They're kind of on the top of the pattern more so than the orange. Gives it more of the darker back effect. Then we will bring in some more holographic Firetiger Flashaboo secret sauce. This stuff is really good. It's super in the water. I don't use a ton of flash. Some guys use a lot more than this, but I think this is enough in my opinion. You can do it if you want to put more on. It's your choice. You're tying your own flies. You can do them however you like. We all have our own preferences, so that's a nice thing about tying your own bugs. Catching fish on your own flies is a hoot too, isn't it? It's just so rewarding. So I like tying flies again. It keeps me engaged over the winter and getting ready for all my spring fishing. And now these big pike are waiting for me in ice off, and so here we go with the orange and green bucktail again. Firetiger colors. You know, and this hollow style again, forward and hold them back, so it really gets the bucktail breathing properly. It really does pulsate really, really nice in the water. So watch that hook. Don't stick your hand on that owner because you won't do it twice. That is a nasty hook. That is a nasty, tight, very, very, very sharp. Now I'm going to bring in a little white bucktail just to kind of make it a little interesting up front, kind of add a little coloration on the bottom. Now these collars I'm just going to tie them, lash them straight back. So I've got my profile I'm looking for. There's a hair clip. You can just hold your materials all in place, just kind of keep them out of your way. That helps a lot too. Now I'll bring in some more green to the top. You want to make sure you clip them off nice and flat. I'm going to bring in some orange again on the belly. Just a little bit of whites underneath it. It shows up pretty good. Just underneath there, just to make it a little more interesting, like I say. Tie them tips down really good and tight. And there's going to be a little bit of hair might want to come out. That's okay if it does it right here. That's where it belongs. If you need to put a little more on, you're on your tying desk and you can add a little more. Don't be afraid to lean on that thread real hard and pull on your hair. make sure it's gonna stick. And you can put some glue in there too. I know a lot of you like using cement, and that would not be a bad idea here either. Put a little cement in there, let it run into the hair. We want this fly. It's a quite durable fly, and it'll catch a lot of fish. There's no question about it. And we do. Takes a little time to tie them. We don't want them falling apart. I'm just going to use some flat white thread here, 210 denier, just to kind of dress it up a little bit. I would put some UV resin on that thread. But we'll just speed the tie up here for you so I don't take all day for you. And then I'm going to go to the eyes. We'll just place them on. Those are the most important part of a big streamer, especially flies for pike and fish. Just 7/16 red eyes going on here. Ultra eyes. My friend Bill from Florida get me a bunch of these he had made, and boy, they're nice. I'm putting a huge dollop of that is UV resistant marine goop, and that is my favorite material or adhesive for putting on eyes. I've been using this for years. I put a generous amount on there for these big eyes, but it doesn't run into the hair, so it sits on top, but I can make sure you got this adhesive kind of showing all the way around the eye. When it dries, it's just a solid adhesive, and it's flexible, UV resistant. It's not going to wear down. But look at the taper we're getting when that flies under some tension. So there, it's got a pretty good shape to it, I think, and hope you enjoy it and like it. I'm going to finish this fly here. I'm going to bring out the marker pen here in a minute and let it dry. But here comes a Sharpie paint pen. These are just come available. I really like using these. These are really good paint markers. Sharpie paint markers, and they also are waterproof. And you can just dab them on, nice big wide black markers. So when that's under tension, you see the bars are all lined up. If you do it with a ruler on the table, and they don't really line up because you're spreading the materials instead of gathering them. So when you gather them like that, then the bars line up when they're under tension in the water. So it's a nice fly. I really enjoy fishing pike, and I like tying pike flies. And
thanks for watching Brent's fly fishing instructional series. He can be found on Brent's YouTube channel and Sport Fishing on the Fly.